Hey guys, Allison here from Ready Set Co-Teach. Just thought we would walk you through today our virtual vocabulary activities. Now we use these every day in every subject for the first 5 minutes of class for students to practice their vocabulary. Before we get started, you will need a virtual word wall for the students to use. Now we did create a tutorial on how to make one of those, so go back and check that out if you haven't already. Let me show you what one looks like real quick. So this is a virtual word wall. As you can see, it has the word, it has a picture, and it has a soundbite here that pronounces the word. Infer. So we make a virtual word wall for every subject, and this will be posted for the students to refer to during your vocabulary activities. All right, so let's get into the vocabulary activities. We have 6. The first one is make a connection. So for make a connection, students will choose any word on the word wall and try to find another word that connects to it. So the least amount they need is 2, but if they want to make a connection between 3 or 4 words, we never limit them. Once we've given them ample wait time, we ask them to type their name in the chat box as kind of a buzz-in so that we know they're ready to share their connection. And they use the sentence frame at the bottom in order to share their connection with the class. Game number 2 is categories. So for categories, the students use the entire word wall and they look at all the words. And their goal is to sort them into 3 or more categories. Now, you can use a Jamboard slide for this and have students make their categories there, or if you're unfamiliar with Jamboard, you can have them write on a whiteboard and show it in the camera, or type in the chat box their categories. We always let the students know that they're going to be asked to explain why they chose to group the words in the way that they did. What's cool about this game is that there are no right or wrong answers, that as long as students can explain why, we're happy campers. The third game is Mind Reader. Now this one is hands down our students' favorite of our games. So this one is, the way we've been doing it is one of us, so one of the teachers, will think of a mystery word. Of course, it will be a word from the word wall. And we give students 5 clues to try to figure out what word we're thinking of. When they think they know it or they have a guess, they buzz in by typing their name in the chat box. You could also have them use the raise your hand function, or you can facilitate it in any way that works for you. The clues can be anything. It can be anything from word parts to meaning to where you originally encountered that in your studies or in a certain text. It can be any clue that you come up with. Once you've given the 5 clues, then we usually use the go word to have all the students at the same time type in the chat box the word that they think it is. A twist on this game could be that a student chooses a word and gives the clues, or that you choose a word and then have students ask you questions to try to figure out what the word is. So there are a lot of variations on Mind Reader. All right, next is 2 hands up. So 2 hands up does require a little bit of prep on the front end because you either need to write a few sentences with some of the words from the word wall or find a chunk of text that includes several words from the word wall. What the students do is their job is to listen carefully as the teacher fluently reads the text. And anytime they hear one of the vocabulary words, they put 2 hands up. Now, if you have students who keep their cameras off, there are a couple ways to still involve them, which is they can either type an X or something in the chat box every time they hear a vocabulary word or actually type the word out, or they can use the raise your hand function on Google Meet. Our next game is Tag Your It. For this game, choose one student to be it and give them a word. So for example, if Joseph is it, I might say, Joseph, your word is integrity. The student who's it then must use that vocabulary word in a sentence. Now, we did have to go over with our students the difference between giving a definition or the meaning of a word and using a word in a sentence. they were getting a little confused between the two. We really want our students to use the vocabulary words in context in sentences that they created. However, if you choose, you could do it the other way and have them give a definition. Once the IT student has given their sentence, then it's their turn to name another student and tag them. So, for example, Joseph might say, I showed integrity when I cleaned up my mess without being asked. Nathan, tag, you're it. Your word is nomad. And it keeps going like this for as long as you want it to. So we usually time it for 5 minutes, and we just let the students keep going. What's cool about this one is once you get it started, as the teacher, you can just step back and watch it flow. And this is one that the students can really lead on their own. Our last game is example or non-example. So this one is exactly what it sounds like. You give a word, or you have the students pick a word from the word wall. Then they must think of one example and one non-example of the word. And then they share it in a complete sentence using the sentence frames provided. So for example, in science, recently we were learning about solids, liquids, and gases. So let's say the word of the day, for example, non-example, is gas. A student might say, air is an example of a gas because it takes the shape of its container and the particles are far apart. A chair is a non-example of a gas because it is a solid. So not only does it show that they know the words, but also the meanings and can give examples. All right, that's our 6 daily virtual vocabulary games. They are super quick, super fun, and low prep. We hope that you guys use them, and please let us know if you can think of any others. We'd love to add them to our playlist. We will link this presentation in the post so that you can have access, enjoy, and let us know how it goes. Thanks for watching.